guys, it's Annie. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. In today's video, I'm going to be talking all things about transitioning from a niche brand to a personal brand. Basically sharing with you guys the top 5 things I would want anybody to know if they were starting to transition their content, and the top 5 things I would definitely go back in time and tell myself when I first began to transition my content. So I guess as good a place as any to start off with is, what is the difference between a niche brand and a personal brand? Essentially, when you have a niche brand, you are known as being one part of an already existing niche, versus when you have a personal brand, you are known solely for yourself and who you are and what you do. So if I were to give you an example of a niche brand and a personal brand, a company like Starbucks is possibly the most famous coffee house on the face of the earth, and they basically belong to the same niche market as companies like Tim Hortons or Dunkin' Donuts, who kind of do the same thing. Versus when you are talking about a personal brand like David Dobrik or Charli D'Amelio, those are two examples of two very, very different people known solely for themselves and who they are and what they do. Neither one of those two people fits into any one specific box or niche, because they create all kinds of different content, they put on lots of different hats and do lots of different things, and both of them are followed specifically and solely for who they are and what they do. So that is basically the choice you are making when deciding whether to create a niche brand or a personal brand. Is your content going to be known for the contributions you make to an already existing niche, or are you going to be known for yourself, who you are, and what you do? If, for example, we are talking about a YouTuber like, let's say, Chloe Ting, then her videos are very, very specifically giving other people follow-along workouts. Whereas if we were talking about Alicia Marie or Lord DIY or any of the daily vloggers that you guys possibly watch, those are all examples of personal brands and YouTubers who are followed solely for who they are and what they do. So when deciding whether you want to have a niche brand or a personal brand, that is pretty much what you are deciding between. So back when I first decided I wanted to begin to sort of transition my content, I went from having a very, very specific and niche branding of only making videos about gaining subscribers, gaining views, gaining watch time, to now really sort of expanding my content and broadening my content to focus on other passions of mine, other things I really want to talk about, things like productivity and entrepreneurship and my life as a full-time content creator and YouTuber, different and other things in my life that I'm super passionate about that have absolutely nothing to do with growing on YouTube. Rather than my channel solely targeting an audience that is looking to gain more subscribers and more views on YouTube, I am now more so targeting an audience of people who are like me, who are very like-minded people like me, people who share the same passions and interests as me, who want to follow me for me. So with all that in mind, here are the 5 main things I would tell literally anybody who's looking to transition from a niche brand to a personal brand, and definitely the top 5 things I would go back and tell myself at the very beginning of my transitioning. Starting off with possibly the biggest positive out of any of these is really just how much more stress-free and exciting and inspiring creating content is going to become. When you have a super niched social media account, it's kind of like the menu at Starbucks, where every so often they add something new, they introduce something new, but most of the time their menu is super static and only has the same drinks and food. There are only so many things that you can talk about and make content about on any one specific topic before you completely run out of things to talk about and begin to talk in circles, which I've seen so often in YouTubers like Alicia Marie and Lord DIY, who were super popular in like 2014 and 2015 for all of their skits and like relatable videos, and their content has evolved so much over the years. And now even Alicia Marie herself is saying, don't niche down, don't be too niche, literally just be you and make videos about whatever it is you are passionate about, and you will never ever run out of ideas, which in turn is going to bring you so much more confidence when it comes to creating content, because literally just being yourself is the easiest thing on the face of the earth. So definitely one of the biggest advantages and pros to transitioning from a niche account to a more personal brand is just all of that freedom and that confidence and that excitement to be creating. A second thing you definitely want to be aware of when it comes to transitioning your content or changing up your niche is that not everybody is going to come with you in that transition transition. When you have a super specific niche to your YouTube channel or Instagram or TikTok, you're going to be growing a very niched and specifically targeted audience, all subscribed to and following you for the same one reason and purpose. Which then means that if you do eventually begin to broaden your content and bring in more topics and different types of content, not every single person who is subscribed to you and following you is going to be interested in that content. Some people will unsubscribe from you or unfollow you. Some people will stay subscribed but not watch all of your content. Using my channel as an example, when I used to make videos about gaining subscribers and gaining views, those videos used to gain tens of thousands of views, and now that I am changing up my content and transitioning my content, not that many people are watching my videos. For the sole reason that what they initially subscribed to me for is no longer what I am creating about. I remember this one video that Laura DIY and Alicia Marie were talking about, where this is the very thing they were talking about, where literally as soon as Lauren transitioned her content, she dipped right back down under 9 million subscribers. Some people have unsubscribed from her channel, some people are not as interested in her new content, some of it gets less views than it used to, but they still have their core audience, they still have subscribers who watch them no matter what they're uploading, and you will too. No matter how many followers or subscribers you end up losing, no matter how many people are going to stop watching your content, you will always have that one specific audience that watches you no matter what. Which then brings me to point number 3 and the second really big positive of this transition. And that is that you're going to be growing a new targeted and very engaged audience. Definitely one of my favorite parts about uploading literally any content on YouTube is always seeing the exact same names in the comments of every single video that I upload. And also sometimes seeing those same names over on my Instagram. Obviously having a much smaller, more engaged audience is not going to make you as much money on AdSense as a really big channel would, but it is also very advantageous in other ways, such as having your audience's trust in you when it comes to sponsorships and companies you are talking about, as well as having a very engaged audience willing to use all of your affiliate links to buy things, as well as having an audience that is truly following you for you and watching whatever it is that you upload. So while it may not look as cool as somebody else who is raking in hundreds of thousands of views every single month, definitely having a much smaller, more engaged audience has its own advantages and positives. Then the fourth thing to note when it comes to transitioning into a more personal brand is that about 9 times out of 10 it takes a lot longer to actually grow your account, and the growth is slower. Obviously, if you have a very niched YouTube channel or Instagram account or TikTok, if you have an audience all following you for the same one very specific reason, then obviously your content is going to reach more people and get more views and more engagement, because that is how the algorithm works. Which means that when you have more of a personal brand and your content is more about you and your life rather than a very specific value and purpose, that usually means that growth and gaining views and getting subscribers comes a lot slower. But the very good news here is that your rate of growth and how fast you gain subscribers and views is not how your success is measured. I have gone from gaining about 10,000 subscribers every single month and getting about 1 million views every month to gaining about 300 to 400 subscribers every month and about 80,000 views a month. And even with my growth being a whole lot slower, my income really hasn't changed. Mostly because even though my AdSense revenue has gotten a lot lower than it used to be, I still have all of my other revenue streams like affiliates and sponsorships that are stacking every single month, and essentially altogether still making me a full-time salary even if I go a full month without a single video uploaded. And also, like I've mentioned so many other times before, you literally never know what video is going to pop off and blow up on YouTube. And that is pretty much the origin story of any YouTuber who has ever blown up on the platform, is basically just uploading one video that your audience went crazy for, that blew up out of nowhere on the platform and blew up your channel with it. So definitely that is something else to be keeping in mind when you are transitioning your content, is that even though your growth may be a whole lot slower, you literally never know when it's going to pick up and blow up out of nowhere. And then the fifth and final thing to note about transitioning from a niche brand to a personal brand is that it's going to open so many new doors. Having spent about 2 years making videos solely about gaining subscribers and getting views on YouTube, that is pretty much the only world, so to speak, that I kept myself locked in. That was the only content I was creating. I was really only collaborating with other YouTubers making that same type of content. I was only ever doing sponsorships with brands that aligned with that kind of content. Now that I've started to really expand my content and talk about other topics and bring other stuff onto my channel, now I'm meeting so many other people people. I'm connecting with so many other creators. I am bringing in new types of audiences and connecting with new audiences. I am opening up my email to so many other opportunities I've never seen before. I remember opening up my email and literally ripping a piece of my heart out of my chest because I was getting sponsorship offers from brands I've loved literally my entire life that I had to turn down because they had absolutely nothing to do with gaining subscribers or views or any of that, which literally sounds like the most ludicrous thing I have ever heard, because if these are brands I love with my whole heart and brands I've loved my entire life, that means that these brands 110% align with me and my passions and who I am, which means that that should also be aligning with my content and what I share on my channel. So definitely, if you do decide to go through with that transition and that change, prepare yourself to have so many new doors opening to you, because take it from somebody who absolutely knows this for a fact, it is literally the worst feeling in the world to feel like your content can only take you so far and there's only so much that you can be creating. This way, you're going to be feeling so much more creatively free and so much more inspired, and it is just the best feeling on the face of the earth. So yeah, those are pretty much the 5 top things I wanted to share with you guys, the top 5 biggest things I've learned in this whole transition phase, and definitely the top 5 things I go back and tell literally anybody who wants to make this transition and this change. So if any of this related to any of you guys, I hope it was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, thank you all for watching. I love you all to the moon and back, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!